those governors are trillionaires. None of them is earning from collective IGR of Nigeria. None is earning less than ₦1 trillion since the removal of subsidy. You don't even need a quarter. All you need is your 1 month allocation to destabilize any opposition in your state. So, for you to know, all they need is just one war chest of fund can get you what you want. And that is where the vast potency of Nigerian governor, no matter where he is. Not to now talk of any of them that occupies a state that is so viral, that has its own IGR as healthy as what it gets from the federal purse. I am saying, without your IGR, what is coming from the federal purse to you, I don't want to mention any of the states, but to the least state, is enough to liquidate any opposition in that state. And so where you have that happening, it will take a Goliath of an opposition to fight that war chest. And that is why you find almost all the governors almost bending backwards for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because it's giving them the capacity to do so much for them that wants to do.
Right.
Or not to do so much for them that wants to steal. But that is another matter that institutions of state can quickly and easily address. So what we are seeing, or let me conclude by saying that whether El-Rufai will be right, or whether the old school that we know will still sit, lies in the womb of 2027. Like I said when we were starting, 2027 will be a very interesting year for political scholars.
True.
It will be a year that Nigeria would, whichever way it swings, be able to contribute very volubly in the corpus of presidential democracy as we presently know it. Whether we can unseat a presidency like we did in 2015, or whether, was that 2015 or 2016? I think it's 2016. Whether we can unseat a president like we did to President Goodluck Jonathan again, or whether in spite of all the failings of the economic variables as we presently see it, the nuances of power will still shield the president as we were able to morph one out of 2023. You see, Nigeria is a very interesting nation. We are going to shock the world. We are going to give to the world another definition of democracy. Nigeria is a nation to watch, because so many things will happen in that year that will contribute to the body of knowledge that will make democracy interesting for the world.
Well, we all wait, and we all look forward to what 2027 will bring. And I mean, at the end of the day, we would all see it as things get unfolds before then. I want us to quickly talk about yesterday's, should I call it, online saga between the Lagos State Governor in person of Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party in person of Peter Obi. There was what Sanwo-Olu said. I mean, he went all out, on social media, X, and he more like he poured out his mind, towards the presidential candidate for the Labour Party in 2023. He said a whole lot of how that all of the things Peter Obi had said during his visit to where he went to about Nigeria and, you know, the economic challenges, that when he was governor, he was also not, you know, he didn't do any better when he was governor of Anambra State back then. And, you know, many people on social media were for and also against what the, you know, what the governor had said yesterday. Your opinion on all of this? Was it right for the, you know, governor to have come out on social media, you know, all out like that against, you know, Peter Obi? And all of the things he said.
Of course, I don't expect no less a person to have taken up the main opposition figure. I'm saying that name, not in any derogatory manner, but in a manner to signify the total import of what he represented in 2023. It was behind him that this majority of the 60% that made up the youthful population, you know, gathered. You know, so I do not expect anything less. As a matter of fact, I expect more of Tinubu soldiers to take on a Peter Obi, not for anything, but the main fact of defending the administration. Whatever Nigeria turned out to be was never because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu meant bad for Nigeria.
Of course.
But that there are intervening variables that must knock on. And so these are the knock-on effects of all his policies and reforms. So for Sanwo-Olu to come out is like urging moderation and thinking that that is what leaders ought to do in situations like this. I read him talking about leaders must try to market and not demarket their country. That is the responsibility of in fact, not the responsibility of any Nigerian, not only leaders, because we are first and foremost a Nigerian when you meet yourself on the other side of the shore.
Of course.
Now, you must say, even when you came from the gutters in Kaura Namuda,
the deepest part
of the rot anywhere in the country, once you get to that other side of the shore, you paint the good side of your nation. That is expected. But you see, Peter Obi is a politician, and is a politician of the opposition ill. To him, all weapons are fair. To him, he must continue to give knocks. What he is doing is par excellence what he should be doing. In fact, if he fails to do it, you will begin to worry, where are the opposition figures? Just as we keep worrying and we keep labeling them as ineffective, even in spite of all that they are doing. So it is within his right as an opposition leader to so say anything that can chip a little away from the goodwill of the current leader. That is the responsibility of opposition. That is what they are to do, to continue to put themselves forward as a better alternative, irrespective of whether or not they could do it. It is also within the remit of the rights of the current governor of Lagos to set the parameters straight and call him to check, especially where he has the opportunity to do so. That's not all bad. It's not that gloomy. Things are not picking up. Yes, I mean, the best you do is to carry out a SWOT analysis on yourself, every of your way, your strengths, your threats, your opportunities, and your weakness. That is just what everybody does. You understand? So when you do that, you are being truthful to yourself, you know. And even though political communications will say that it's all about selling your country, but it's just that's how it is. So for me, it's neither for or against. They are each playing the role that they ought to play as far as this present milieu is concerned. One is an opposition figure who is out to always sell his alternative as the best wherever he has a listening ear. And the other there to clean up the audience table and make people see a little bit clearer. Now, it does not remove the fact that there are those pains there. You see, the fact that I'm using the glasses just makes the object in front of me better. It does not remove the object.
Of course. The
same way. So that someone who is cleaning the lenses of the glass called Nigeria does not obliterate the fact that people are still going through what they are going through. It's just cleaning the glass up so that people could see a little bit better. And I believe that he has been able to make his point, and we have learned our lessons, and the object before us, even though it's much clearer, is much also not as what it was before, which means that we are chipping off on some of the things. So it's a lesson for all. I believe that we are all learning. We are picking nuggets from all of this. But like I said earlier, 2027 will be very interesting. You know, very interesting.
I mean, it's a year that we all look forward to.
And whichever way it turns out, it is going to be interesting for Nigeria.
With that, we need to come to the end of the show, because I mean, before we go, many people will say, okay, there are less competitions come 2027 because of the things going on, defection here and there, that it's more going to be like a landslide. Many are saying that, while some are saying that, I mean, somebody might just, spring up from nowhere before 2027, and, we have, because right now many are saying that the current administration have little or no competition. Do you agree with that?
I agree.